address two main topics. One, the Transcontinental Railroad. The Transcontinental Railroad, which will take us from California, right here in Sacramento where you are, and we will go from here to Promontory, Utah. But there's another vital part of that building, and that is going over the high Sierras, and that is our wonderful Sierra Mountains, and our journey, which was like nothing else in the world at that time. That journey was going over the Sierra Nevadas, going right here again, from Sacramento to where we will end up with this in Reno, Nevada. So this journey we will all be on. We will enjoy it. We will speak about different cultures on the globe and how all of us are part of the different cultures and intergenerations way back, can you imagine, that built the Transcontinental Railroad. This is going to be a very nice journey for you. First of all, my name is Mary. I love trains since I was 10 years old. So second to trains, I'm a Yosemite buff. I go to Yosemite 2, 3, 4 times a year, and I'm a life member of Yosemite. Became a life member in the 70s, and in 2000 they stopped serving or having membership as life members. So can you imagine? Each year there are fewer and fewer and fewer of us. So I enjoy Yosemite like I enjoy good food. And Yosemite is number one on my list. So now you know why I love trains. 10, when we were on the train, came from New Orleans here, and then I had, oh my, 2 children. But 10 years old, they told people very clearly in the mid-50s, girls don't play trains. So guess what's been in my heart? It has been an anchoring, a feeling, a compulsion to really love trains. So yes, I love trains. Had 2 sons, had one at N scale, had the other one at HO scale, but then they left. And then what do? I became a volunteer for Amtrak. So what am I doing? At the Railroad Museum, historical. And I'm a docent. So I'm still loving trains. So now you know who I am. Secret point. I'm afraid of heights. I'm afraid of chicken. Anything happen and someone will tell me to step up or go a step, I'm going to start crying and say, no, I'm not. Okay? If everything falls apart, I'm still not going to go up. Unless it's a train. So, trains are my heart. So what I'd like to do is find out each one of you where your family is from and the family name, please. Okay? So let me begin here. I saw you all. Please tell me, family areas that built the wonderful going through over the Sierra Nevadas and our wonderful, we had a race going to meet in Utah, Promontory, Utah. Now, the most important thing that is going to open this up to your mind is we had wonderful brothers. I refer to them as our Eastern brothers. Many of them came from the continent of Africa, then going on into Spain, Portugal, then going on up to Italy, going up to Europe, and then our wonderful brothers who worked hard, who were partly slaves and were given slave duties, are Irish brothers. Okay, so then all of those are Eastern brothers. They came across New York and they continued working hard and building the railroad headed westbound back east. So can you imagine our Eastern brothers of all the different cultures, the different beginning at that time of the European continent. So those are our brothers. I'm going to refer to those men as our Eastern brothers only because they were east of the building that came in to build the beginning the Transcontinental Railroad. And it all started there and headed westward. But those were our Eastern brothers. So can you imagine your intergenerations 200 years ago? A combination of many cultures, many races. Those are Eastern brothers. They came over here to work. Okay, our wonderful Western brothers, and we're speaking of those who came from the Bay Area. And many of them already had their jobs here in Sacramento. They were restaurateurs, they were house cleaners, but they were the workers. Okay, what we're going to learn is look at the different cultures in the Western United States and Lincoln West. So we're talking about our Chinese brothers, and then further south, those are our Western brothers. Now, they came over to the United States to work, picked up many, and then we will learn exactly how the rich men said that you will work. I don't care if you die. I don't care if you lose a hand, a foot. The work, railroad work, will not stop. The idea that I don't care how hard you work, we're going to make money. And this is the big four. Hopkins, you have Stanford, you have Crocker, and you have Huntington. Now those four men didn't care who did what. For this young man, he loved engineering, but what he designed was something that we did not have, and that would be a bridge of railroad crossing from Sacramento, right here, going across the Sierra Nevadas. At that time in the world, there was no other railway going across mountains that were almost 8,000 feet high. Then there was nothing that would go around. Then there was nothing built that would go through, because that is what it had to do. So right now you are at a pinnacle of history, and at this point right now, how are you going to get human beings to do that? Well, our Eastern brothers said, we work hard. Oh, we move around a little bit at night, but we're going to come westward and work under the direction of Thomas Durant. Thomas Durant was another green man, okay? And the idea, he got all of those Eastern brothers. He said, okay, not all of you, I want you to work because we're going to head out west. Then our wonderful Western families, many of them who already had a job, who already did so much, Sacramento, China, all around the area, they said, hey, under the direction of Leland's family. But the idea is we're going to work. Now, another side note, there was a TV program weekly, and the name of it was Hell on Wheels. It could be found like in the local library. Did you see part of it?
I never watched it, but I know about it.
Yes, Hell on Wheels. It gives you an idea of the horror of the things they did. And who made the money? The Big Four. Remember, they got the people to do work. And it was the Big Four that kept becoming, how can I say, more greedy. And they did. And they told the workers, this is what I want you to do. So, side point, our wonderful guy here, he was saying, the point is, I don't have money. The Big Four, Huntington, Hopkins, Crocker, and Stanford, they said, you're too young, you don't know anything. go away and we'll call you, don't call us. And so what they did at that point, this guy rearranged a little bit of the building going through, over, and around the Sierra Nevadas. So he went back to them and he said something new, something different, it's better. They said, yeah, well, we already told you. You know, you're too young, you don't know anything, so we don't need you. We don't want you. So Thomas Durant said, okay, I'll go. He said, I have one more opportunity. And he said, I am going to go to this last person, the 16th president of the United States. Who would that be? I'm sorry? That's it, yes. And so what he did, Judah here, Judah said, this is my last try. But it had never been built. No one wanted to try it because it would take too long and the investment would be too great. So we went to Abraham Lincoln, Washington, D.C. Yes, Abraham Lincoln was a railroad man. So can you imagine? He went to the railroad man, and not only that, being the 16th president, he was a lawyer. And this was getting really, really good. He gave Theodore Judah the money. Theodore Judah married this beautiful woman, and the idea, she was an artist in her own right. So please remember, never put her down. She was not working on the railroad, but she was an artist in her own right. So always remember that a spouse can be your inspiration. She was Theodore Judah's, and it was just excellent. He got the money. He went to the Big Four. The Big Four said, here's the money. Then they realized they didn't have enough workers. So what they realized was there was a lot of workers here in the Sacramento area. So in getting those people, they still didn't have enough. So he went to Asia, China specifically, because at that time there was a famine, there was a war, and what he told the workers, just come, just work. You may lose your life, you may lose an arm, you may lose a leg, but we want you to work. Okay, Hell on Wheels have begun. I'd like for you to see how they began. Please, take a look up here, up this way, right up here. Now remember I said I'm a big chicken. Okay, look at the third man, way up there. He does not look like he's happy. He looked like he's saying, I think this is dangerous. So it began there. Then the workers came in from China and further west. Then you have our Eastern brothers. They began out that way, back east. But they had not come out with work. I would like for you to feel your own parents, generations back, 50, 150 years, the Eastern brothers. Please, I wonder for Western brothers, put in the reality that their family was already here working. They just needed a ton more of humanity. And so they began coming home. And 90% of them maybe could not speak any English. But what you had was the workers that were here, different languages. They were here and they became the foreman to those that came over. The technicality of those, our Western brothers who could not speak the language, the foreman would teach, but they had a work ethic. They had an understanding of hard work. So our Western brothers, Sacramento, continuing back west, and our Eastern brothers, they enjoyed nightlife, they enjoyed eating meat and potatoes. And then the issue came about. The Eastern brothers, oh, we'll beat you in a race because your Western brothers, they boil the water, they eat fish, they eat vegetables, and They're basically good for nothing. I'd like for you to see how we got the workers, how they got the workers. The big four said, let's just get bodies and work them. We don't know whether to eat, whether it's winter or not. They will work at least that 6 days a week, and the work will not stop. So please, I'd love for you to join me. Please taking your Eastern families, your Western families, generations back, all families directly to build the Transcontinental Railroad. I'd like for you to see and feel what was experienced. Please join me right here in the tunnel, right. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me along the way. But in this tunnel, there is the advertisement for workers. There is conditions that are deplorable. Right here in the tunnel on the right, the photographs. Please, please join me and take your generations of family with you, because then you will see what your families will do. Please join me. I will be right up there.